I'd like to introduce to everybody one of our members, Cindy Buchanan.
Good morning, everybody. Let me just start by saying that the woman who stands in front of you today, 11 years ago, was a very different person. I was somebody that was diagnosed by a doctor as being clinically depressed and with panic disorder. And today I am a woman that is free of both. So, thank you. I just wanted to share a bit about how I got to this place in my life, and it goes hand in hand with the 14. I attended my first Unity Church in Fairfax, Virginia, and that was about 11 years ago. I knew at that time that I needed to be healed and free from my depressive thoughts and actions. And Unity was a wonderful place. It felt really good to attend. I still went and cried every single weekend. But it felt safe there. I felt safe to express myself, and the message week after week made sense to my heart. I saw an acceptance for all people around me. The message pulled me in. I could feel the truth in the words I was hearing, but I couldn't get that from my head to my heart. There was still a long distance there. I saw the people around me being very happy and joyful, and I wanted what they had, but I didn't quite understand how to get it. I didn't realize at that time that I wasn't seeing the whole picture. Eventually, my husband and I moved to Florida, and we started attending this church. And by this point, I was pretty desperate to find an answer. And I heard about the 4T class. I listened a little more closely and heard about shining the light. No coincidence that that's today's daily word. Shining the light into all areas of my life. And I'm thinking, all areas? Okay, that means financial? I didn't understand that. I thought to myself, what did God and money have to do with each other? After all, I grew up Catholic, and I heard this phrase quite a bit. Money is the root of all evil. So I didn't understand how the two went hand in hand, but being skeptical, I still signed up, and I took my first 4T class, which I believe was the first 4T class that Reverend Frank gave here as well. I began to learn about the concept of releasing the material to make room for good in all forms to return and flow into my life. I learned about getting up and getting my good and my happiness for myself. I learned that the responsibility for my happiness lies in my hands. It wasn't going to just fall from the sky from some magical person into my lap. I had to move my own feet to get it. The 4T taught me to give of my time, my treasure, and my talent to have the return of good into my life. So I heard these suggestions and I went to work on all three. I volunteered my time, my talents, and also that scary word in my life, my money. Okay, it was time to clear the cobwebs of that old phrase jumping around in my head about money being evil. And I began to understand that that's the worshiping or the love of money instead of the worshiping of spirit that is the evil. I learned that money is just another substance, such as time and talent, that needs to be given away in order to receive good back. I had to shine the light of God into all areas of my life. So I took that huge leap of faith and I started to tithe exactly what was recommended by the class. And it was scary. Anything new that we set out to do is always scary. I needed something to change though, so I just went with it. And slowly, bit by bit, the light was starting to shine into all areas of my own life. I felt the claws of depression loosen their grip, finally. I continued to attend church, classes, and tithe, and the miracles started to unfold. First and foremost, I got my shine back. I started to feel good again. I started to pray and to really believe and understand that God works for good in all areas of my life. I just have to loosen my grip and give Spirit the chance to work and move through my life. I started to smile more. My joy and curiosity for life returned. I judge less and I love more. My whole internal world was starting to function together. I was starting to understand the concept of flow and the good it can bring to you. And then the really cool, tangible, physical gifts started to occur. At the time of that first 4T class, I desperately wanted to start having children. So I set out on praying for that specifically in the first 4T program. And Cole Buchanan was born 9 months later. During my second go-around in the next 4T class, Tyler came along. That became the joke around here, don't you? Cindy wants another child, she's going to take another 4T. But I continued to tithe to my spiritual home even after the 4T class ended. And then another gift appeared in our lives from the universe, and that was a new home during a time when everybody around us was screaming lack and recession and, don't buy and don't buy. We ended up with a gorgeous new home. Currently, I still practice God in all areas of my life. I continue to tithe of my time, I continue to tithe of my talent and my treasure. My prayer life and my faith in God has never been stronger. Upon seeking a new job after the blessing of being a stay-at-home mom with those 2 beautiful boys for 4 years, I sought employment at my son's school. At first they told me they didn't have a position available for me, but me and God, we knew better. So I prayed and I loosened my ego grip and I let Spirit move through me and I returned to that school and I inquired again and they hired me. I'm now in a full-time position working at that school where both of my boys attend. I let God into all areas of my life, and the universe gave back. Now, I'm not standing before you saying, take this class and your life will be perfect and all problems will go away or challenges that you're experiencing. This past year has been a difficult year for me. I've experienced a lot of loss and changes in relationships and friendships in my life, and I'm being called to be patient and to trust Spirit to work it out for the good of everybody involved. But now, the difference I know today, through letting Spirit into all areas of my life, I do not need to go to depression. I do not need to fall back into that spot. I have let God into all areas of my life, and I have my prayer and my spirit within and my foundation of prayer that all began with my first 4T class in 2005. I know everything will work out for the good. Our beautiful 13-year-old dog has been diagnosed with terminal cancer. And yes, it's sad. It is sad. But because of the healing and strength that I received from shining God into all areas of my life, I'm able to look at this companion today with gratitude, appreciation, joy, and celebration of her and all the unconditional love that she has shown our family. I'm able to look at her and just be grateful today for every moment we have with her and the blessing of her life. So as you can see, the 4T gives back to you in all realms. The first and the most important, I feel, is the spiritual. You'll gain strength in God and prayer that can turn the entire life around in the way that you live in your life. It will also give back to you through answered prayer, whether that be physical substance or emotional growth that you desire. No one will or can do this for you. You have to get up and get it yourself. This 4T Prosperity Program gives you the plan to do that. So live the life you've always dreamed of, because I do believe I'm living proof. If you give your good away, you'll get it back in ways that you never dreamed possible. Thank you.
Give it up for Cindy.